Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I wanted to go through the Warzone meta and take a look at a few specific weapons that you might not realize are actually as good and as competitive as they are. I guess you could call a handful of these off meta, but in reality, in the right hands, they absolutely could compete with some top options. They're just a little bit underrated or slept on as it stands. Who knows how season 6 is going to adjust some of these? Perhaps these get buffs and they become absolute meta choices, but I do think it's fun here and there to take a look at some weapons that you might not realize are nearly as good as they actually are. And we're starting first with one that I think has been slept on for a while now, the Rival 9. Of course, our SMG meta lately has been dominated by the Supery, the Static, so on and so forth. The Rival has actually been sneaky good for a little while, and it's really better than ever right now. And what I really enjoy about this is that you can actually build this out to be competitive in a lot of different scenarios. If you're looking for a sniper support build, this actually has really good range. If you're looking for a super speedy, super aggressive build, you could go all in on control. If you just want a nice overall sort of hybrid build, if you will, you've got that too, and that's more so what I built out here. But you can really experiment around a lot with different barrels and optic if you need, and the Rival is going to be good in a lot of situations, right? Initially, I really like the close quarter stock on here. It's going to end up slowing you down a little bit with like a 2% con to your ADS and your sprint to fire. That's not a huge deal given the fact that you're getting 13% back on recoil, which is really solid, especially if you're playing out to the mid range and using this more as like a hybrid SMG, right? We obviously want that 50 round extended mag. That's more of a basic choice there. Really like high grain here for that better range and velocity. We're out to an 18 meter effective damage range where it's got a quick TTK and a 650 velo basically, which is really good for a hit scan range as well. So you've got versatility on this setup for sure. Paracord on our barrel is a great choice here. I like the fact that it's helping out with my sprint to fire and my strafe alongside some control. I think Jack Slash is viable too. For me personally though, I want more attack on that horizontal control in this thing rather than vertical. And then lastly, I like the sonic suppressor here. Again, it hurts the control a tad bit, but we've already kind of gained that back. Plus better range and velocity on this as well. If you're okay with sacrificing a little bit of ADS speed, I think Quartermaster Suppressor would be viable here. Zem would be viable too if you want that on there. There's definitely ways you could build this out with other compensators, other suppressors that would be good too. But yeah, the Rival is, on the come up for sure. This thing could actually be a true meta contender here with just the slightest buff and some nerfs to some other top tier options. Now, admittedly, there's a lot of MW2 weapons right now that are off meta that are actually quite competitive in certain scenarios, like the Kastov 545, where through the close range to mid range area, this thing is actually really, really good. So if you can extend its damage ranges, you actually have some very fast, very competitive TTKs on a low recoil rifle. This is like ideal for resurgent style gameplay in my opinion. Big map maybe a little bit less viable, but for Rebirth, Vondel, Fortune's Keep, this is actually a sneaky good choice as well. So for optic, use whatever you're comfortable with here. A 2.5 times, a NIDAR, a glassless, whatever you want really for that. 60 round extended mag, pretty basic. You could drop down to 45. It'd be a little bit faster there, but for me, max ammo usually in this case is going to be the best, just so you can take on squads and not really have to worry about reloading mid gunfight. Paracord's a great choice here as well. Super aggressive, super agile, but also makes the weapon easier to use. We got Quartermaster Suppressor for max recoil control. This thing's going to feel like a laser beam with this on there. And then I like the 406 barrel. Good range, good velocity, good control on there too. So you're just keeping it efficient. You're keeping it, easy to use, but also it has great range and it's going to be a really quick to kill option if you are playing more aggressive with it. So definitely a very fun rifle choice that really not too many people are looking to. And by the way, as we are going through all the weapons, all the loadouts here today, if you're new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with everything you need to know about Call of Duty, whether it is news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. It's all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, join us on the road to 1 million. And if you enjoy this video or if you find it helpful at all, a like rating is always really appreciated. It really does help grow the channel and share the video around to new viewers. But anyways, next up here, another great MW2 rifle option that has a crazy good TTK in its close range and mid range as well. So its first 1, 2, 3 damage ranges are crazy competitive. The TR-76 Geist. The only drawback here is that there's basically no way to efficiently speed this thing up. It's kind of a slow, kind of a bulkier rifle, so using it in like its first damage range can be awkward at times if you're not consistently pre-aiming, but you can sort of force yourself into that play style if you really want to. But again, trying to play this as a more aggressive rifle rifle and just making sure you got your sights up results in a really competitive option, like especially in the mid-range. Again, optics, go for whatever you want here. Whatever you're comfortable with, run that, you'll be set. 45 round mag is the max here, but this is a bit of a slower fire rate, so you don't burn through ammo like crazy fast. It works, and quite frankly, being the largest option you have, you kind of have to use it, right? Again, we got paracord on here for the better mobility and horizontal control and what have you. Quartermaster suppressor for max recoil control. Then I like the bridle heavy barrel. Again, crazy good effective damage range and velocity boosts here. 25 and 28% is so good. Plus you get some added control on there too. So obviously really effective in extending out that effective fast TTK damage range, keeping it easy to use. Again, a slept on MW2 option, but in the right hands can be incredibly lethal when you know where to fight and how to fight with this thing. Hey everyone, real quick, want to give a huge shout out to my friends over at Gamer Advantage. You guys know by now, if you're active viewers here on the channel, that I am always rocking my Horizon frames. These are by far my favorite frame style and fit, but they got a little bit of something for everyone. Multiple different frame styles and different colorways for all those frame styles. They offer prescription and regular lenses, so no matter what your situation is, if you're looking at screens for long periods of time, whether it is school, work, whatever the case may be, Gamer Advantage is a must-have. Reduce your eye strain, sleep better at night. They're doing so much for you. They truly are game changers, and that's why I'm wearing mine every single day. If you ever want to get a pair for yourself, throw in code Immortal at checkout and you'll get a nice little discount. The link for that will be down in the description below. Next up, we got one of my personal favorite options, and even though I've talked about this being a top contender for some time, ultimately the fact that it is slow and heavy in an LMG, and an MW2 gun means that the RAPP is largely considered to be off meta. This is not a weapon that has picked up a ton, but in all actuality, if you can aim consistently with this thing, which I think it's relatively easy to do, this is a very easy weapon to use, especially with the setup on here. Its TTK is nearly best in class, or is best in class for the LMGs. So this for mid to long range gunfights, whether you're playing big map or resurgence, can be a phenom. You just have to be comfortable with it being a slow, heavy, bulky LMG, right? Like the reload sucks here, the strafe, the general movement's not good, but you're pre-aiming, you're fighting at 50, 60 meters a lot of the time, right? You'll be just fine at this thing. 2.5 times Eagle Eye works really well in this case, but again, you could drop down to a different optic if you want. Even though this is an LMG and has a base, like large extended mag on it, want the 100 rounds so I don't have to reload nearly as often. Like if you can get any extra ammo in here and avoid the slow heavy reload, you might as well, especially because all the other attachment categories suck since this is an MW2 gun. You might as well just throw that on there. High grain ammo, better range, better velocity. We're up to a 966 velo. That works well for a hit scan range. Really good effective damage range with that quick TTK. And then that deadly duo yet again of paracord on our barrel and that quartermaster suppressor. So we are laser accurate with this. It's got good range, good velocity, and a fantastic TTK while being easy to use. That's a win-win in my book. The only drawback mainly being it's an MW2 LMG. And then to close things out, we've got yet another MW2 option in the SO14. Definitely the highest skill gap weapon on this list here today. Using this in semi-auto gives you a potentially fantastic TTK. In reality and in execution, it's much harder to achieve that crazy TTK because it is semi-auto. You have to keep up at a fire rate cap. You have to land all your shots consistently, right? So it becomes a lot harder to do so, but even if you're landing a decent amount of shots and spamming this decently quickly, it's still going to be a really competitive option for a semi-auto gun, right? Again, for optics, whatever you're the most comfortable with, go for it. I like that the glassless offers firing aim stability on a semi-auto gun, so it's a nice sort of added bonus. But if you just really love the 2.5 or like a 3 times or a 4 times, of course, always go for that. 50 round extended mag, so you can just spray and pray and spam this thing as fast as possible and really not have to worry about it. You'll have plenty of ammo here for semi-auto without having to worry about reloading in the middle of a gunfight, right? Ruin heavy support works really well on semi-auto guns, offering better aiming stability, firing aiming stability as well, horizontal control, gun kick control. So when you are spamming, it's going to make sure that you are recentering accurately. You're going to be able to control it relatively easily. That's really clutch on semi-autos in specific. Boremaster barrel, better range, better velocity, better control, better pizza, Papa John's, just making it more efficient in the mid to long range where we're using this the most. And then for suppressors, you can go a bunch of different routes. Sonic suppressor will extend out that range and that velocity even more for minimal control penalties, so I actually do like that a lot. That said, Spirit Fire would work well as well for better control, velocity, and range on there. Quartermaster suppressor, if you want to go all in on control because you're going crazy with the spamming, that'd be viable as well. So you could like mix and match a lot of these, and there's quite a few good choices on this for sure. But yeah, those are 5 weapons that I'm sure you probably haven't dropped in with a ton of, but if you were to test these out, you'd realize, hey, actually, this feels kind of nice. Like, it's actually really competitive. If I know how to aim correctly, which most of these guns are easy to use and you can consistently land shots, they're going to be quick to kill. They're going to be really competitive, even though they're not the absolute #1 meta option in the game. So some fun loadouts to check out for sure. That is going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always really appreciated. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that sub button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you later. Peace out.